Hey folks, Ray Bessette here. I'm at the FirmU studio. I'm here with an inspiring story to tell you. Normally it's with one of my clients, a testimony on how they're doing and how they like working out here at the FirmU and how their progress is. Well, this time last year, I have a progress report to give to you on, and some people may or may not know, that I've had 3 shoulder operations in the last couple of years. I guess I can take this off now. There's no need for this. Anyway, but this time last year, I had an operation, shoulder operation. And my goal was by the end of, or in July of 2020, to compete in a bodybuilding contest. Well, I had a total shoulder, let's go back. I had a total shoulder replacement in August of 17, right before Hurricane Harvey. And 6 weeks later, after I took a shower, I was rubbing my back very carefully, so I thought, and I heard a pop in my shoulder, and I severed a subscapularis rotator cuff muscle. And it severed, it popped, and I could not move I couldn't move my arm anyway, but I couldn't move it at all. So I went back to my surgeon, and they went back in and tried to use cadaver tissue to reconnect the subscapularis, so my arm, which was now a prosthesis, could actually be held back into the glenoid fossa joint, so my humerus, head of the humerus wouldn't come out. Anyway, long story short. So that went on, that was in October of 2017. So a whole year went by where I was trying to get through lifting weights and trying to, proceed a comeback when I turned 60 to go on the national level and win my class and actually get an IFBB Pro card. Now, I researched the doctor because I thought there had to be another way to fix the subscapularis and other options. And the other shoulder options was a reverse arthroplasty or a reverse shoulder replacement. That means they take the head of the humerus and they put the cup on, and then on where the cup was on your shoulder, they put a ball. So you're anatomically incorrect. And you could only lift as much as 15 pounds either way or anything. So that really wasn't in my future. I couldn't do that. And normally that operation's for older people. But it would give me that range of motion that I could lift my arm up over my head. And that was the biggest problem I had with my torn subscapularis or rotator cuff, is I couldn't raise my arm over my head, which means I can't do a front double bicep, which means I can't compete as a bodybuilder. Okay, so anyway, I went and researched a handful of doctors that did this new procedure called a superior capsule reconstruction. And what they do is they take this allograft material and they put it over the supraspinatus and connect it so that it pushes down on the head of the humerus, and your bottom line is that it won't pop out, and it acts as if there's a repaired rotator cuff muscle. All sounded fine and dandy, except now I have a prosthesis in my shoulder. I have a total shoulder replacement. So all the doctors I talked to wouldn't touch me because there was nothing to attach the allograft to. I found a doctor in Iowa that said he may be able to do an anterior superior capsule construction, anterior and superior capsule reconstruction. And I'm like, I'll do anything at this point, and I wouldn't be anatomically incorrect. And that was the biggest thing, because I didn't want to have my shoulders look different on each side. Being a competitor, physique competitor now, or bodybuilder, it wouldn't make sense. And through rehab, somehow I could make this all work. That was the plan. And that was a year ago. Actually, it was in November. So I had, I was in a sling this time last year up until the end of December. At the end of December, it was Dr. Godding, by the way, of the Joint Preservation Institute of Iowa, is who I saw. Great guy. He knew me as soon as I walked through the door, and we only communicated on the phone. and a great surgeon. And Sean Brooks of Advanced Orthopedics brought me back around as far as the rehab. So as far as the operation, or the wearing the sling, I had to wear the sling for about 6 weeks, which took me into the end of December. The end of December, I started my PT. Now, the physical therapy was, just physical therapy. It really it's not easy. So I went through 2 months of that. After physical therapy, I started working out on my own, which I had been doing anyway. I had been doing a lot of legs and working around my shoulder and doing what I could. So things started to move quite rapidly as far as my progress, and I was very happy. As a matter of fact, I was very happy. As a matter of fact, I was so happy, I scheduled or applied to a couple shows, physique shows, because I can't do a front double bicep or a front lat spread because of my shoulder injury. But I can or could do a physique show, which is the board shorts, which means you're basically just standing up there and turning side to side and to the back. So there's no lifting your hands over your head. So I'm still up on stage, I'm still competing, and I'm like, seems like a pretty good deal for me, at least at this time. So it also gave me a goal to get back in shape. So after the 2 months, that brings us of rehab, that brings us up to around the beginning of March. So that gave me 5 months, because the North American Championships was at the end of August 30th. So I had only that much time to get ready, and I weighed about 200 pounds I think it was March 17th, around St. Patrick's Day. So, I had put on some weight, but it was, I was still working out, and I was still pretty close to my diet, which I stay pretty lean all year round. But I usually compete around 180, 176 and a quarter in my bodybuilding days. So I had a ways to go down and not lose muscle. That's the main thing, is not to lose the muscle. Anybody can lose weight or lose fat, okay? But keeping the muscle while you're losing fat is the trick. And that comes down from the training principles and your nutrition and your supplements, okay? Which I had all that going for me, and hormones. So, and I do all three here at the firm of those, and of course with my background and getting around, having to do different exercises because I couldn't lift my hand over my shoulders. Now, if I pushed against something, I could lift my arm up over my head like this. But if I'm not pushing against something, I can't raise my arm any higher than this. If somebody told me if I was in a stick up, they had told me to put my hands over my head, I could only do this, okay? Because this hand's not going any further. But the good news is because of the capsule reconstruction, and my working out in the rehab, I didn't atrophy on my right shoulder. I didn't have any atrophy. As a matter of fact, it's pretty hard, and you'll see pictures of it, to see what side was actually operated on, because I kept my right side symmetrical to my left side. So, and I did that through weight training, okay? So the point of this video is, this time last year, I was in a sling. I wasn't even thinking about doing a show until 2020, which I'd have been 60, which I am now, and compete in the 60s class. And I decided to go a year earlier and compete in the physique board short division, and I took third place, okay? So, if anybody's sitting out there thinking that, I have diabetes, I have a high blood pressure, I'm overweight, I'm obese, I feel tired all the time, I've got every excuse in the world. Well, I practice what I preach. Now, I had every excuse in the world, being in a sling, to hang up bodybuilding, competing, and everything. I could have just let myself go and just said, hey, I got hurt. But look I've done 67 trophies. I've been taken top 5 in the nationals 4 or 5 times. Hey, I've done it all. I can retire. I'll just be a personal trainer. But I didn't. I couldn't leave it alone. And I wanted to prove not only to myself, but to others, that you can do anything you want to if you put your mind to it. And that's what I did, and that's what I preach. And call me for your goals, no matter what they are. Don't give up. Okay, there's always a way. As a matter of fact, if there's a will, if you have the will, there's a way. All right, see you next video.